Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Welcome. The Conscious Spirit Podcast. We're back.
We
We were just
are.
being silly a second ago. We tried to get serious, but but yes. So
Yeah.
hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Welcome. So
Oh,
we do want to open space today. We're going to remember that.
yes,
People
we are.
ask us all the time, please open space. Please, I want to reiterate this too. To comment, and you can send us messages through whatever listen only app
Yes.
you use.
Wherever you stream your podcasts,
That would
you
be the
can
word.
text the show. And
Yes.
it literally texts us.
Yes.
Um, it does not give us your phone number. We
Gives
don't know who
nothing.
you are.
Yeah. Nope. Nope.
So
Nope. Yeah, please
if
do.
you want us to know who you are, please tell us. But it's not like we're going to have your phone number or anything. So
So after we open space today, we are going to talk about the first chapter in
yeah,
our little book, The Seven
yeah.
Spiritual Laws of Success. Just enjoying it, just what we agree with, what we don't agree with. And I know we've said this before, and I want to reiterate this, and it's absolutely the truth. However you find God should be on your terms. Whether you say God, spirit, the universe, whatever verbiage you choose to use,
Absolutely.
we just want you to find that higher being that connects everything, that is a way to live better. To live better.
To live better.
I mean, it's
That
pretty.
Yeah, that vibration of love that just connects everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have over the years, I think Mari-Lyn as well, but certainly I can speak for myself, have had people who are in an organized religion, who are not, who are, I'm not sure what other verbiage, that really don't have a sense of God at all in their lives, sort of run the gamut. And what we do is really very universal. It's just about tapping into yourself and finding that peace, that love, that connection that we have with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So really don't care what road you take. There's one God, spirit, universe. Again, whatever verbiage you put there, there's one all connecting spirit, energy, and we want you to find it, however that looks for you.
Yes.
So, and I will say something. Not everyone because we're considered to be like new age, which we are not. I do not consider myself to be new age at all. But that sort of new age moment, they really don't like Christians. They don't like any
Oh,
any sort of organized, and not just Christian, I'm sure probably others too, but any
any
organized
organized religion.
religion.
Yeah.
And we're just not that. We're just not. You find
We're
it
not.
as
Now,
long as it's a loving religion.
I personally don't have much use for man-made religion,
No, you don't.
uh, because there's so much fear base in it.
Yes, so much.
And that is pretty much my only reason.
Right, yeah,
Yeah. But that's just me.
right.
Um,
But you don't ever put anyone down if that's what they want. Even
Not at
when
all.
people, even when people attack us. So on
Mhm.
our paranormal channel, we've had many of
Mhm.
um, organized religion people have attacked us, and we just think, wow, we're not attacking anyone.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, you need to check yourself, sister, whoever you are. Sister or brother, whoever you are coming at us.
Yeah. However
get
you can
yourself.
find that connection to that energy that is greater than us,
Yeah, we want you
it's
to
all
find.
good.
Yep, it's
All
all
good.
good, man. All right. And I don't live in Hood River anymore because we say it's all good in the hood because it was Hood River.
Ah,
So I almost said it, all good in the hood. It's like, oh wait, I don't live there.
that's funny.
All right, so can we open space?
Yes, please.
Would you like me to, or would you like to?
No, you may.
Do you want to give the little
Ooh, the please do's and don'ts.
yes?
If you're driving in your car right now, as Pam opens space, please turn down the volume, concentrate on driving, and just allow yourself to be grounded. Because it will happen if you just set the intention, turn it down. If you're operating heavy machinery and you're listening to this, stop or turn down the volume. Again, if you have a knife in your hand, please put it down.
Yeah.
If you're cooking, if you're doing something that requires your attention, and you can stop and allow yourself to be part of opening space and being grounded, we urge you to do so. Otherwise, turn the volume down for about, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Everyone be safe. Here we go. We're going to open this beautiful sacred space around everyone listening. Whenever they decide to listen, you will be a part of this group, part of this community, part of spirit, and all things connected. We open our awareness as we become grounded, as our devas become silent, relaxed, and we release stress, worry, with ease. Thank you, Spirit, for this beautiful opportunity to come together today and share our thoughts and belief systems with everyone, to challenge other beliefs, to challenge what we believe, to challenge each other, to be here in that place of questioning and wondering and looking for answers. That curiosity is what's really coming through, is curiosity. As we sit in our divine lines and we intuit today, as Mari-Lyn and I and anyone listening is the conduit through which Spirit brings you your own personal messaging. Thank you for this opportunity. Once again, we sit in gratitude for you, Spirit. And so it is. That was a little discombobulated, but a lot was coming in.
That's all right. The muscles in my back started to relax, and I'm like, oh.
That's that getting grounded piece that she warned you about. Don't have in your hand when
Yep.
your back muscles begin to relax.
When everything just starts to just melt away and you get grounded, and the knife doesn't want to stay in your grip.
No, it does not. And there's different levels of grounding. And my intention is that all of you are in whatever level you need to be in right now as you're listening.
Absolutely. So many levels of grounding.
So we want to talk about the first chapter. This is the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, this little book that some of you I know went out and bought because we've heard from you, and thank you. And we're just going to talk about, we already talked about the introduction last time.
Right.
So we're going to chapter 1, the law of pure potentiality. Now we're not going to read the whole thing, even though it's not very long. It is long on air on a podcast.
Oh yeah. That would be really long.
Should I read the 3 to experience it, or should I do those 3 first?
Yeah.
Or do you want to?
No, I think start there.
Okay. So to experience the law of pure potentiality, he gives 3, what would you call those? Just examples.
Yeah, 3 examples, 3 suggestions.
Suggestions, 3 things that you have to do. One is take time each day to be silent, be connected with your spirit, to just be. The second one is practice non-judgment. Begin each day with the statement, today I shall judge nothing that occurs. And throughout the day, remind yourself of that statement each time you catch yourself judging. And the third, commune with nature. Silently observe the intelligence within everything. Watch a sunset, listen to the sound of the ocean, or simply smell the scent of a flower. To me, this is all, when we talk about being grounded and connected, that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
that silent piece.
Yeah.
Because
With a little exclamation point on the non-judgment.
yes. But to
Mm-hmm.
be in your channel, and we'll get to that. Well, to be in your channel, you're not in judgment in your
You're
channel.
not in judgment.
When you're
No.
communing with spirit, you are not in judgment at all. And when you're
Mm-hmm.
present, you can be in nature. That's part of that being present. So being grounded, being present, being connected.
Mm-hmm.
But usually
Absolutely.
grounded and present, I kind of put in the same one, but I could split it for this purpose. Those three things. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Did you want to read something?
So yeah, real briefly, the law of pure potentiality talks about knowing yourself
Yes.
at the highest level, at that spirit self
Yes.
of really knowing and living in a place of that,
Yeah.
which I think is a beautiful goal, but not sustainably achievable.
Oof. No. No. We do
No.
we have to have jobs. We have
Mhm.
to, even though our job is working with spirit, is working with people in spirit, and we have to be grounded and connected and all that. We don't, that is not our whole day. Not our
Mm-mm.
whole day.
No, we have to be human.
Yeah.
We have to be human.
We have to go grocery shopping. We have to talk to other people and walk amongst
Yeah.
people. Mhm.
Yeah. We we kind of have to do this part that I want to
Okay.
read.
All right.
He says success in life depends on knowing who we really are. When our internal reference point is our spirit, our true self, we experience all the power of our spirit. When our internal reference point is the ego or self-image, we feel cut off from our source, and the uncertainty of events creates fear and doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
But we have to.
Mhm.
The ego is influenced by objects outside of the self, circumstances, people, and things. It thrives on the approval of others.
Mhm.
It wants to control because it lives in fear. But the ego is not who we really are. The ego is our social mask. It is the role we are playing.
Yes. Yes. So one thing that hit me while you were reading this,
Yeah.
to really keep this book short, he's really just talking about that one piece of it. He's not saying, okay, well, but we have to be like the stuff that you and I, and that's kind of that piece that we're bringing into it is the human piece. Because
Mm-hmm.
really, if you listen and go, oh my God, I can't do all that. How are you supposed, how are you supposed to live like that all the time? And he's just giving that piece of it. Yeah.
Right.
That spiritual piece. If you want that, you have to practice these things, like those three things, you have to practice them.
So this is a pocketbook guide to fulfilling your dreams. What I haven't looked, is there like this encyclopedia of the 7 spiritual laws of success? Because there could be.
There could be. I
From
don't know.
just from what I have read so far, there could be like a total encyclopedia volume that goes into so much depth around all of it.
Yes.
Because there's really so much
So much.
to absorb and process. And
Now, yes, you talk about ego a lot. You're the one, far more than I do. That's a big piece of this for you,
Yeah.
more than it is for me. I mean, yes, I experience all that stuff, but it's not as big of a focus.
Well, ego for me is, I think, one of my masteries in this lifetime.
Yes.
Is to learn more about ego, how a healthy ego is supposed to operate for human survival, and how the unhealthy, the wounded ego, or the selfish ego wants to control everything and just run amok.
Yes.
And learn how to maneuver through that and tame it.
Tame the beast. There's one part in here, and I think he kind of has them separated, and maybe not, but the judgment piece, to me, practice non-judgment. That's right. For me, that's the ego piece. Get out of your ego, because our ego is the one that wants to judge other people, other things, the way
we judge for control.
Mm-hmm.
We judge for approval.
Mm-hmm. We judge out of, well, there is deeper than that, but jealousy, envy, obviously that goes deeper than that. That's wounding in there, but we're still judging others, right?
Right. Judging comes from a place of lack.
Yes.
And that lack, the lack of self.
The lack that we don't, or what we don't feel in
our own lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It comes from our own lacking. Mm-hmm. There's really something to be said for knowing who we really are. And I believe knowing who we really are, you have to incorporate the ego and how you operate from it.
Say more.
Well, because he makes it sound like we need to separate and always be in that spirit.
Oh, I see where you're going. Okay.
I don't believe that. I believe we need to incorporate our humanness and our spirit self.
Yeah.
And learn how we operate from our ego and why.
Right.
So the judging piece. Why do I judge? This is kind of embarrassing, but I'll be honest. Why do I judge someone who is super skinny?
Right.
I will judge someone who is super skinny over someone who is overweight.
Right.
Well, the answer to that is because I go to addiction.
Okay.
My brain goes, that's an addict.
Ooh, there's some judgment there, sister.
Yes, that is 100% judgment.
Yeah.
So being able to recognize why my judgments come in can help me know myself better. Well, absolutely. That comes from fear of my own addictions.
Right. And there's part of that piece of this where he's not going in. He had to pare it down so much to make this itty bitty little book.
Right.
He doesn't talk about that outside piece of it. And which I understand why he did that. And at the same time, yikes, you can't live in that space all the time. Is it good to try or to be in there once in a while? Sure. But you just can't. So anyone who thinks that, oh, I'm a loser because I can't stay in that place all day long, you're not. It's called
you are not
human.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay there.
I will say though, it is very thought-provoking to go, ooh, is that even possible? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Very thought-provoking.
Not for me. It's not possible. But...
Well, I mean, to not to live in a constant frame, but is what he's talking about. Is it for a second remotely possible?
For like a 24-hour period? No.
Instant.
Yeah.
I'm talking like, can I achieve? And I can. I have had moments of knowing my true self, of that connection to spirit. But there's times where I even question my ability to do that.
I will say that's something that you have struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
You have struggled with. I don't struggle with that piece as much, but I still struggle with it. Absolutely, without a doubt. But I know that when I'm in my channel, I feel that. I feel who I am. I feel self.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. And to be there all the time would just be amazing, but there's just no way to do that.
No way to do that.
Really.
No, we have to do the human thing. We have to,
Yes. Although I am pretty I love you, man. And that when I'm in my channel, I really do. It's like I love everyone and everything's gonna be wonderful and fabulous and good and mushy. And I get very mushy and I overgive.
Overmuch.
Overmuch. But I overgive. I don't know what it's called. Like I give too much of myself when I'm in that place because it feels so amazing. Part of my, what they might call love language or whatever is being in service. And I hit that place of being in service and I want to give to everyone. I don't do it nearly as much as I used to because I've sort of, I've that you have helped me with that, bring that to my attention. It's like, Pam, you can't keep offering all of this stuff because, you can't keep offering all of yourself like that. And that's a balance for me to come to. How much do I offer? Because being in service is part of my love language. I've always been huge on volunteering, of giving myself. If I see that someone needs something, I've always been that person that jumps in and will try to help. At one point in my life, it was so codependent. It was mixed with codependence, though, that I would be taken advantage of a lot, which that doesn't really happen much anymore.
Right.
That's kind of rare. Thankfully, I've worked on sort of separating the codependence from that being in service and wanting to help and being the healer. As you know, that happens.
It does happen. Yeah.
Where do you separate being a healer, being codependent, being nice, but standing up for yourself? Like there's a lot to unpack in there.
There is a lot.
A lot. But yeah, but thank God I can't be in that space all the time. Yes. So to me, really, so if we go back to the 3, take time each day to be silent, to connect with your spirit. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the practice non-judgment and the commune with nature. That's all for me. That's being grounded, being connected, and being present. And something you and I do practice that every day, whether even if it's just at those times when we have clients or students, we are in that space and then we come out of it to go do other things. But we do, at least I know you do, but I try in other times of the day too. It's not always easy.
It's not easy.
Really easy when I have a client sitting in front of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in that personal time.
Yes.
Of carving out time just for that connection. I'm sure you'll agree that in that personal time, that personal connection, it's very different than connecting with or for a third party.
Yes.
To be that conduit for another person, it's very different
than doing it for ourselves.
And
he is talking about doing it for yourself.
He is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I'm writing this workbook, right? Is to help people do that in their personal life, in their personal time.
Exactly.
And I have to
Yeah.
say, it's hard writing this workbook. It's really hard.
So what I'm getting is good. And the reason that that's good is because number one, that means it means something to you.
Yes, it does.
And number two, the harder it is, the more you push through it, the more value you're adding to it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. If it were just easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's
Yeah.
uh, a certain amount of it that just comes so naturally to me because I've done it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say so long, I mean my entire life.
Right.
Looking back into my childhood, I didn't know that I was psychic or that I was spiritual or whatever. When I look back now, I think, woof, was I ever?
Uh-huh.
But those habits formed that early in my life for me. Talking to Fred, being with him, just communing in that space. So sort of, and then of course I help people with it and with classes and stuff. You do more of that than I do, or to a bigger extent. That's more of your practice than mine. It's really helping someone have that daily practice every day.
Getting that connection, that understanding. Yeah.
Yes. I often say that Mari-Lyn takes half steps and I take full or full and a half, like 1.5 steps. That's how fast, like my classes go that fast and hers are slower because she really takes that time with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we can't have the same type of people. We can't, the clients that we have are very different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
someone as it should be.
Yes. Well, someone who needs to go at half steps or baby steps is just a disaster coming to me. They're so lost and they're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, and people go to you that are like, oh my God, can we go faster? And you're like, I think you need to go to Pam because you need, yes. So, yeah. Yes. Anyway, so Jess.
Back to the book.
Yes. Yes, back to the book, please.
So in that practicing non-judgment, he talks about being in the space between your thoughts.
Whoa. Yes. To me, that's but
I'm gonna read this paragraph if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all.
Practicing non-judgment is another way to experience the law of pure potentiality. When you are constantly judging things as right or wrong, good or bad, you create a lot of turbulence in your internal dialogue. This turbulence constricts the flow of energy between you and the field of pure potentiality. In the silent space between your thoughts is a state of pure awareness, an inner stillness that connects you to true power.
Yes.
That silent space between your thoughts is a state of pure awareness.
Yes.
And when I read that sentence, for me, I absolutely agree. Because there are times, last week, I'm sitting outside and I'm looking out across the trees, and it was like I'm looking at a crayon drawing. It was flat. Absolutely flat.
Oh. Okay, now I see where you're going. I was often, okay, got it.
And I felt, in that time, I felt so stuck.
Yes.
Just gunked down.
Yes.
I could not see the space between the trees.
Yeah.
There was no space between my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And go ahead.
Oh, for me, that is, so what just came up so being in, it's not just in your channel, but being in your divine line. So your pineal gland is right in the center of your head. And one of the things that we will teach is being in your pineal gland. And that's right in between. We go through exercises to get you there, and this is where you sit. And when the picture stops or gets like that crayon drawing that means you're out of it.
Yeah.
That means you're not in it.
Not in it, not even close.
No,
Not even,
so
I'm not even in the tree where my
no.
So
you need to do whatever it is we have things for you to work on with that, and how to get back to, because when you're in your channel, there's movement there. There's energy movement there.
Energy is flowing.
Yes. And you can see there may not be a breeze outside, but when you're in your channel, the tree is moving. It's breathing, it's moving because it's energy.
And when I say the space between the trees, it's almost as though, it's not almost, I am aware of the energy that is the air.
Yes. When you're
when I'm in my channel, and it's an amazing place to be. And when I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, what is wrong with me?
So that for me is this first chapter, is being in your divine line, or being in your channel, whatever verbiage you choose to use. You're grounded, because when you are in your divine line, you are grounded, you are present. Everything has this nice, beautiful, slow sort of movement to it.
Right.
And it's amazing.
And there's no room for judgment.
There is no, you're not even thinking, nothing even comes into your mind that you need to judge. You could watch some, I don't know, bird fly over that's not very pretty, and you would not think that.
Oh, it would be the most beautiful bird in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it has a soul and it's beautiful. It has, it's alive. There's energy there. Yeah. That is something that I need to practice daily. And I do to a certain extent, but it's in my own sort of way, which everyone should have their own way of doing it.
Absolutely.
We're also different. We have different lives, different experiences, different wounding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have loved, in our neighborhood. I mean, the trees are just, there's so many trees. Most of them are maple.
We live in a very beautiful area. The West Coast is beautiful.
I have started the practice. Don't like the word habit. So I've started the practice of, in the morning, as I'm drinking my coffee, if I'm not outside, I am looking out the window and I am making sure I see space between the trees.
Yes.
As if I'm not starting my day that way.
Yeah. And I hate to break it to everyone, but spoiler alert, in the little workbook, you don't have coffee the first hour and a half or so once you get up. And that is such a habit for a lot of us. Now, I can't do caffeine anymore, but I still drink the decaf coffee. And I still like grab that and want to have that with, like, right after I get up. Yes. But on days that I don't,
adding a stimulant to your body first thing in the morning is not the kindest thing to do to her, him. It's just not.
No,
it really isn't.
To your brain, to, I mean, everything. Yeah, it's to spirit, mind, body, spirit. Not a great plan, but most of us do it. Most of us do it. Yeah. Even those of you who are saying, I don't drink coffee, but what is in your tea? Or what is it? But your system does like something warm. Your stomach does like, after that period goes by, and your cortisol has gone down.
Yep.
You're coming to a balanced,
warm water,
something warm in your belly is really good in your gut. Yeah. Yep. So yes, just spoiler alert there. But it does make a difference. It really does. But that's a tough habit to break. So tough. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
assume you've been doing that for many years.
Well, let's see. Yeah, a lot of years.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of years. I
Mhm.
probably started drinking coffee when I was 16.
Yeah.
Mhm. I will say, though, most mornings I have 1 cup.
Yeah. You have cut down. That's true.
Mhm.
Yes. And then,
And once upon a time, I drank coffee all day long,
oh,
all day.
you can do that. When you're younger, you can do that and still sleep.
Oh, I didn't sleep.
Oh, never mind.
I just drank coffee all day.
Oh, yeah. Well, no.
And then I realized, oh man, maybe I should cut back on the caffeine. And
Yeah.
so then I wouldn't have coffee after, I don't know, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it was a little earlier. And now I rarely have caffeine after 10 a.m.
And I can't have it at all. I do on occasion have some, like if I have a really bad headache, I
Yeah.
will I will drink just a little bit of caffeine and like a Tylenol and poof, headache gone. But that's
Yeah. I
only
guess that's not really true if I have chocolate ice cream at 8 o'clock at night,
no, chocolate
because
has
chocolate
caffeine.
has caffeine in it. But that's I think about the only caffeine that I will have is in chocolate.
Yes.
And I try not to have, I don't have near the chocolate, the sweets that I used to
No, me either.
comparatively.
Sugar is
I just
well,
don't.
but everything has changed now, right? And certainly in the United States. Now, other places, not so much. Like Europe, I believe, and y'all that are in Europe can let us know. They have a lot more regulations on what's in food than here. And like
Oh,
my
I don't
thought,
know.
yeah, oh yeah. Well, like when we go to Europe, we we don't eat bread much here at all, but when we go to Europe, we know it has the carb in it, but it's so much healthier. We're like, okay, all bets are off. We're eating bread.
Ah,
So we're also
okay.
on vacation, so you want to do that. But
Okay.
like Subway here in the bread has so much sugar in it. In I'm not sure if it's all of Europe, it's just UK or whatever. Y'all can tell me. It's considered to be cake there. It's because of all the sugar that's in it. It's not bread. They don't consider
Oh,
like Subway bread. Yeah,
okay.
so much.
Interesting.
Yeah, and here in the United States, they put, I mean, sugar's in everything.
Everything.
Because it's addictive. So they want you to have. So if you go out of your way to eat sugar, you're just adding on top of whatever else, you know. I
Right.
try to be
Well,
very
I
careful.
can't eat bread, so
I know you can't.
I can't eat bread, so I got to get my sugar fix other ways.
Yes, you do. Yes. I don't eat it either, again, unless I'm, out of the country, but then all bets are off. My husband's the same way. We just pig out. All
So
right.
funny.
And then nature, being in nature is the third.
Oh, nature.
It is wonderful. And yeah, it's because it's part of all things connected. It's that for me, it's that pure pure connection, it's a spiritual consciousness. Now, when people say like trees have a consciousness and plants have a consciousness, I sort of argue that point. But
Right.
there is my hair keeps dissolving with this backdrop. Keeps going away. But there is a spiritual consciousness that it has, but it's not a consciousness like we have. It doesn't have a brain like we have. It doesn't have
Right.
the ego. That's
Right.
not there.
Exactly.
Um, so because there are
It
people that, they go out and talk to the trees and everything, and it's okay.
Sure.
But
Energetically,
yes,
it
yes,
can receive your vibration. It gives
absolutely.
off a vibration,
Yes, yes.
but it's not going to give you advice and it's not going to tell you how it feels.
Right, right.
Now, could you pick up vibrationally if a tree is damaged?
Oh,
Sure.
do you remember we had gone out way out like past Sandy? We went to Clear
Yes.
State that
Yes.
there they had So when you just said that reminded me, there was a tree there. They had put what's it called? Electric fencing around because one of the women in the home, it was like a not a duplex, a threeplex, I guess. She had changed her house, so there was three sections to it and three different families.
Right.
Well, one of them, the owner had horses, and so she put electric fence around. Well, at one point, she wrapped it around this tree, and you could feel the sadness from the tree, the low vibration.
Yeah.
And it wasn't you can say the tree was crying, okay, but it wasn't really. But what it wasn't doing was giving off its normal, high, beautiful, old
Right.
soul type vibration. I don't know how to
Right.
explain that. It's that
It's,
old thing. It
I
was,
understand it. So
thank you. That's all that matters. But it was that and I know, yeah, and I think you're
yeah.
the one that pointed it out,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
that this tree is just all this electricity running through it is not healthy for this tree. And the tree was dying. The tree
Yeah.
was dying
Yeah.
because
It
of it.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've realized I have become very guilty of taking Mother Nature for granted lately. I've spent a lot of time outdoors here lately and in the woods, and I
Yeah. And that
I
would be
just
a perfect time to get still, to get in your line. I wonder how much, I wonder how much your golf game would get better if you took a moment to
yeah, I
ground
bet it would.
before you
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
disc golfing, but it's
Disc golfing.
yeah,
Yeah. That will become part of my routine.
yes,
And I do stop every once in a while and take a picture and go, oh wow, that is so awesome, and take a picture. But then as soon as I take the picture, it's like the appreciation and the gratitude is just like
just
it's
goes.
gone. And that is not who I want to be in the world.
No,
It really isn't.
well,
So I get to change that now.
you do,
Mhm.
and we uh we go for a walk. My husband and I go for a walk um, as often as we can together. It doesn't always work out to be together, but when we do, and we're talking the whole time, and there are times when there's a wooded area near our home, and it goes back to this. It's a man-made lake, but when we walk around the lake, there are times when all of a sudden I realize, whoo, we haven't said a word for 10 or 15 minutes. We have just gone into our own space within this forested area, within the earth, and we just are.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It's really nice. It's really very nice. So, um, feeling your potential in those times is really happens. It really, really happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's really important, I think, too, to understand how much potential you have and being
Mm-hmm.
able to tap into that and manifest. And I really don't like that word, but that's what just came. But manifest, we talk about that all the time. I'm not going into manifesting, but that's where it's not what the universe is going to bring to you, it's what you can offer the universe as far as what vibration you're in,
Right.
where you're supposed to be, what is supposed to be happening, what is that potential that you have, because we all have so much potential to be greater, be more, be happy, be joyful, be loving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was thinking
Yeah.
um that he talked about that M word, that he talks about manifesting,
Oh,
but that's not the word he uses.
oh, what does he use?
Well,
I don't
it's
remember.
I'm just looking and there's not a specific word that he uses. Um, but I do love this sentence. Actually, I'm going to read a couple of sentences here.
Okay.
It's on page 20.
All right.
Self-power draws things that we want to us.
Yes.
It magnetizes people, situations, and things to support our desires. This support comes from the laws of nature. This support from the laws of nature is the state of grace. And I love that.
I do too.
The state of grace for me really means allowing things to be as they are.
Yes.
Without labels.
Mm-hmm.
And without judgment, without expectation.
Mm-hmm. And that's that there's a wanting more that is unhealthy. There's nothing wrong with on one hand, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. I want better. I think better would be better instead of more. To not, I want more sounds from the ego. I want better sounds more from the soul. I'm worth more. Maybe. Here's something he says. The law of pure potentiality says that you are consciousness itself, both as it manifests in the material world and as it lies unmanifested in your being. With the knowledge and practice of this law, you can put yourself in harmony with nature and create with carefreeness, joy, and love. So so he says create. And we often hear about like co-creating, people.
Right. Yeah.
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 But.
And if we can manage to find that state of grace, of connection, of allowing those things that we want to create and want to manifest are very different than those things we want to manifest from our ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
So different.
Yes. And manifesting from that intention of my highest good. Some people who do the whole manifesting thing say not that, no, you need to be really specific and say what you want and everything. But I'll tell you what's come in my life when I say what's for my highest good is way more fulfilling. Because spirit knows what we want. My ego doesn't know what I want. That my ego only knows the past. It doesn't know the future. It gets caught up in my trauma and the wounding. And so ego is not a great place to try to, enclose.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah.
Really, really isn't.
All right. So I think we're about done here.
No.
So the first law of pure potentiality is finding self. And and being in your divine line, in being with yourself. Take time to do that every day. Be grounded, to be present and in your line.
Yep. And that's a beautiful place to start building relationship with yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Woof.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Please comment, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Comments, do the texting the show if you're listening through the audio only.
Yes. And if you want to pick up this book again, it is not if you want to pick it up again. I meant again, and I was going to say the name of it.
Because you probably don't need 2 copies of it if you've already picked one up.
The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And whether you, and again, I don't agree with everything from him, but I think this little booklet is very thought-provoking and it's a nice little reference to go to and to talk about.
It is. And one thing I like about the book being just a pocket guide book is that it leaves very much to interpretation.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Mhm.
Yes, it does. And he cut out all the human stuff out of there. Really. I mean, he touches on it, but he really, how he brought it down, there's no way with the way that I like to talk, write, whatever, that I could make a book this small. Have that much information packed in there because I go off into too many different directions and too many tangents. And as you were listening. So thank you so much for
Right.
showing up today.
Yep. We appreciate you all.
Appreciate
Thank you very
it.
much.
All right. See you next
Take
time.
care.
Bye.
Bye.